It has been 1 year since No More Excuses Wake Up has been in effect. There's no introduction needed for this quick episode because I am humbly blessed that I continue to do this. The podcast really started a long time ago, a very long time ago, when I actually launched my book, Who's Gonna Pay the Mortgage? A Woman's Guide to Relationship Recovery, back in October of 2010. Yes, we're talking about 11 years ago. Then a year later, my girl, my little sis, my friend, Trudy. Wow. I've known Trudy since she was 19. I'm not going to tell you her age. You do the math. Well, we've been friends for about 12, 13 years. And she does everything behind the scenes when it comes to social media. Anything that you see as far as graphics and Instagram, Facebook, all of that. And I'm talking about way back when, before IG even existed. I mean, way back. Way back. We known each other for a long time. She had my back. I couldn't do this without her. So Trudy, thank you so much, because I couldn't do this without you. And when the podcast started, I actually started completely by myself. And after the 4th episode, Trudy actually reminded me that that's when I connected with her, going to say, hey, I'm starting a podcast. Let's do this, blah, blah, blah. But after the book, I really want you to catch this. When the book launched, Trudy and I knew each other, which is how we met, because I met Miss Jocelyn, which Trudy's boyfriend at the time, mother. And she just said, oh, you're doing so much. Let me introduce you to someone that can help you. She's very smart and you're going to need help because you can't do it all by yourself. So when the book launched in 2010, Who's Going to Pay the Mortgage? A Woman Guide to Relationship Recovery. My cousin, my dog, Ebony, love, that's my heart. Ebony helped me write. I think Ebony wrote, I can't even remember how many chapters she wrote in the book. She wrote a couple, more than 3, more than 4 chapters in the book. And then Trudy said, why don't we take this a step further? At the time, it was called I Female Publishing. So everything was I Female. We had I Female shirts. We did an entire I Am a Survivor, I Female. Everything was I Female. Had a meeting and she said, why don't we do a magazine? Why don't we do a magazine and why don't we name it I Female Magazine? We launched our first magazine and I'm actually holding it in my hand. I'm going to do a video. In August 2011. 2011 was our first magazine. Now, this magazine basically was about women that was everything that we're doing on the podcast. Women that actually all over the world, entrepreneurs. Back in 2011, we didn't have the platform that we have now. It was a little harder for us because it was literally a magazine. We had to find a platform that we had to write, and it was writing. I know you have your blogs and everything now, but we were literally writing, building a magazine for 1 year, from August 2011 to August 2012. And I always say 1 year, 1 year. I said, Trudy, we're going to try this for 1 year. We had all different guests all around the world, women that were just starting their business, doing their own business. It was just, even when I was in St. Lucia, I interviewed someone that was on a magazine. I remember I interviewed a male gospel singer. It was just, we were finding people all over. This podcast, now let's talk, 11 years later, launched No More Excuses Wake Up. And it's everything that we were doing back in 2010, 2011. People don't know that we were doing this. I don't know how far Facebook goes. I really don't. But our magazine, everything that we were doing with the book, I'm talking about 2011, it's all on Facebook. Instagram was non-existent then. Podcast was non-existent. It wasn't even the thing. Podcast was not the thing then. It was literally magazines. I mean, we were talking about Essence and all of these magazines. And so when Trudy said that, we did it. The reason why I stopped is because I did not feel a connection with people. I just felt like I would interview them, but there was no connection. I can't explain it, but I remember I was getting ready to take a shower and I said, Dad, how am I going to tell Trudy I don't want to do this no more because I'm not connected to the people? And if I don't feel like I'm not connected to the people, I can't do this. Broke it down to Trudy, and of course, Trudy being Trudy, she understood. That portion of the magazine stopped. The book was already out. I was in Philadelphia signing books, Delaware signing books, just signing books. I did, for a first time author, I was pleased. Trudy helped me tremendously. We were just all over the tri-state. I want to say this. When I first started the podcast, that came out of Side Hustle Pro, Nicaila. I listened to her podcast all the time, and she kept saying, start a podcast. I'm like, I'm not starting no podcast. I had a magazine, don't have the time, don't want to do it. Just listening to her walking every morning, running every morning, she's in your ear, you should start it, you can expand. I started listening a little bit more. I went on YouTube University, started listening and learning. And that's how I learned how to edit. And I do my own edits. I don't have anyone editing for me. Can I? Yes. But going back to what I said, I will feel like I'm not a part. If I don't feel like I'm a part of something, I'm not going to do it. So the reason why I do my own edits is because I interview them. The chemistry is just flowing. I don't want a third party person right now because I don't want to lose that chemistry. I don't want to lose that oomph. I don't want that to be a reason to say, I'm not feeling it. I don't want to do it anymore because I did this 11 years ago. I want to stay connected to the people, and everybody that I interview. Oh man, thank you. Y'all were the bomb. Every last one of y'all was the bomb. I'm going to thank each of you in order. To my girl, Victoria Deborah, you are my sister, your family. Everyone that listens to your podcast should know our story. I want to say thank you. When you came over to my house and I told you that I was going to do a podcast, you was like, oh, I want to be on the show. I want to be a guest. That's just who you are by nature. You are so encouraging. So thank you, sis. Thank you, girl. And our story is just crazy because nobody would have ever thought that two women that had a child by the same man would have such a strong bond as you and I do. But listen, y'all, when I was down and out, I reached out to Vicky on Christmas Day and had my back 100%. Thank you, sweetie. I love you, Vicky. Tamika McTeer was the second guest. Tamika, oh my goodness. Tamika reached out to me when we were in Podcast Moguls with Nicaila. Tamika said right in the middle while we were on a Zoom meeting, she said, I want you on my show. I was like, okay, girl. She said, I'm going to launch in January. And yes, she did launch in January. And I had launched in September. I was on Tamika's show, and then Tamika was on my show. I want to say thank you, Tamika, because I was on your show, and actually you are the first and only thus far show that I have been on. Thank you for reaching out and having me as a guest. And we were talking about money. I appreciate you. I really do. Ashley Van Veen, girl, my millennial. I always say you should have been my daughter-in-law with your cute self. You were my third guest. Ashley, my youngest guest, just talk about finances and the importance of not only money, but investing. And investing is so important to you to be so young. I want to say thank you because I learned through everyone. I learned a lot from you. Alta Gracia Felix. Alta. We still have to meet because we shared a bond. Just because what you talked about was trauma and finances and how you help women with trauma and finances and how I used to help women with trauma. Thank you for being relatable. I appreciate you, Alta. Deborah Spence, Dr. Deborah Spence. We actually are neighbors, and I had the opportunity to meet Dr. Deborah Spence. She talked about women and women on women abuse and how important that is, and we're actually really good friends. Dr. Deb, thank you so much for sharing your own personal experience and how You did a dissertation about your experience and even sharing a light on what abuse is. Tamika Chester, my girl, my friend, thank you. Thank you for coming on the show, for sharing your story, for being so transparent, for being true. That was not easy for you. Actually, your episode have received, the last time I checked, 205 downloads. Tamika, you have a lot to offer, and thank you, and continue to be you. Tamika Wachi Greenwich, you are also a friend. You are a bankruptcy attorney. I want to say thank you so much. Thank you for also being transparent and helping the people in your own community when it comes to educating them about bankruptcy and the importance of bankruptcy and getting out of debt, and how you don't just take the tool of bankruptcy, you actually teach people or show them how to not return so they can be able to live a healthier financial lifestyle. Tamika, thank you so much. Shonda DeShields, you are a financial divorce coach. You was very transparent on the show and you showed a lot of emotions, and I really appreciate you because you help women transition from divorce and getting their finances in order. Thank you. Shaterial Starnes, Coach Starnes, you put a smile on my face because you are so funny, so smart, so real. And thank you for sharing your story and the situation that you've been through with your husband and how that trauma turned into you helping people in your own community. Thank you for coming on the show. And last but not least, Valerie Nunez. Valerie, thank you for being the last guest of the year on No More Excuses Wake Up. You are a 29-year-old millennial. You are definitely doing your own thing. You are educating women of color about their finances, and everything that you learned as having immigrant parents have taught you how to help others because your parents work so hard. It's on you. It's all over you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. I am so grateful to have shared my platform with you 10 beautiful ladies. Yes, it has been 10 women. It's been a year. Well, wow, only 10 guests? Yes, because in that year I have been through a lot. And what I try to do is journal my life as I go. And it's not, and I always say it's not about the quantity. It's always about the quality. And I try to make sure that my quality is straight. When I'm editing, it takes me a long time because I'm taking out the ums and buts and smacking teeth. So I try to make sure that it's only that one person that's listening, and it's the guest. And I want the guest to have a great experience. The quality is so more important than me pushing out guest after guest after guest, because I want to, again, have that foundation, have that relationship, because that's the only thing that's going to keep me here doing this. Podcasting is not paying my bills. Eventually, will it? I don't know. I don't know what God has to offer, what God has for me in the future of podcasting. But I do know that with the platform that I have other people reaching out, asking to be on the show, I also know that it's refreshing to me. I love doing what I do because I love meeting people. I love meeting women. I love interviewing women. I love showcasing them so other people can know what they do. I love bridging and bringing people together. Don't hide what you have, share it. And that's what I'm about. Podcasting is just something that I like to do. I said to Trudy, let's do this for 1 year and see what happens, and I'll make a decision then. So I made my decision, and I think I'll do it again. And when I say do it again, I'll do it again for another year. I can't say I'm going to do it forever. I am a goal oriented person. My goals are daily, my goals are weekly, my goals are monthly, my goals are yearly. Instead of me saying, okay, let's see in 3 months. All right, let's hit it for another year. Hope in the next year I can triple, instead of having 10 guests, have maybe 20, 30, or 40 guests. But in my first year, it was hard for me. I do take care of my mom along with my husband and my daughter. My mom lived with me, and actually my mom had came that August of 2020, right in the pandemic. It's a lot. Selling the homes, and it has been a transition. It has been a lot. But I'm here. Everything that I do, the businesses that I have, the businesses that I run, it takes a lot. I want you to know that I'm here. I run 4 businesses. I have an after school program. I have a case management agency. Inside the case management agency, I have a direct support agency that I started in November, which is almost a year. I also have my school that I have, helping people with their finances. Having physical people working for me, it's a lot because I have to wear a lot of hats. I have to make decisions. I'm not always right. And I'm learning. I'm learning as that leader. I'm learning as this boss. I'm responsible. I'm not God, but I am responsible making sure that people get paid. And when they do the work, they need to get paid. That's a stressor in itself. The money has to come from somewhere. Doing the administrative work, making sure that the deals go through, things are aligned right so my workers can get paid. And I am happy. I am grateful. I've been in business for 6 years. This is the first time I was really able to give a raise to my staff, and my staff has been with me for the longest 5. Mayor has been with me, my manager, the longest 5, but Jeannie been with me the whole ride, 6 years. This is the first time I could give a raise. To give a raise to my staff, I'm very happy. That's an accomplishment. Also, just to be able to, when we first started, they were getting paid monthly. Now they're getting paid twice a month. Also, they have a investment plan. I am happy that the company is definitely growing. I say all this to say that it has been a year, and in that year of podcasting, a lot have transpired. And to my 10 guests, thank you so much for being my guest. But I appreciate you all, and y'all keep doing y'all thing. All right, y'all. Y'all know what I always say. It has been a year. Let's progress. Let's do more. Let's do everything that God created us to do. No more excuses. Y'all know what y'all need to do. Wake up. I will say, 1 year, I did accomplish this. What have you accomplished in a year? No more excuses. Wake up.